Hello and welcome back to my videos. In this video we'll continue for recording up about the last video about Flask WebSocket, and we continue the project SocketChat. And if you see the last video, you realize I'm not sending out for anyone, only sending back for the user, sending the message out. I will show you this so we know what I'm speaking about. Here I have the first user, and you can see test, and here I have the second user, test2. If I'm sending out here the test message, I only receive it back as a user form, but here I don't. If I'm sending the test2 out, I will get the message from the previous client and my own message, but this doesn't. So let's going back for our editor. The simple reason is because we don't use the broadcast. It's just forgotten this. So broadcast should be true. If I'm saving this and going back to the clients, you can see this is the client 2, client 1, and this is the client number 2. If I'm going back for the client 1 and press send now, you can see it's coming for the client 2, and if I do it with the client 2, you will see it's coming back again. Here I've changed it, so client 1 and client 2. So long so good. The next stuff we want to introduce in this video is how you can record which socket session ID that will be when you connect and where you disconnect. It's very important when you need to build a user list. So let's building up here to say users online, and I want a dictionary here, and then I want a guest visitor count should be equal 0. When we connect, I need in the port, I need to request to. When we connect, when the client connects, we want to say users online should be the same as request SID is the session ID, and inside here we want to make a username. Let's say it could be guest, and then we need inside here to say visitor count +1, and go inside here, and after we have added this, I want to increment the guest count until we reboot the server. And then you need to go in for the global. I know if you have a lot of customers that are coming online right now, you have a technical reason to have the same count twice. But this is just a test. Normally I will control this in the database and other way around. But for testing it's very fine. But in production, never use global. I have used it in production before, and now I'm sitting and coding around 2 weeks code because I have global variables that's flipping around. So that's a mistake from my side, and now I pay for that. So don't use it in production. It could be very dangerous. And then we have a rank, because our users should have a rank, and this is the guest. And then we want to say connected time, and we say time should be the time the user is connected. So go up here, go up here and say import time. Now you can see, now we can't because we don't print it out. Print out the user online, and you can see we have the user 1 and user 2 is online now. But if I go back for the client and reload one more time, you will realize we have the tree now because we don't remove the session ID when we disconnect. You can go down for the disconnect area and say request session ID, and then we have fixed the issue. Now we have, you can see 2 now. I can just count it up, so we can say we have 2 online users, and if we're going back to the client, reload here, and going back for the server, we still have 2. The next we want to do is when we send the message out, we want to know which user that basically have what username we're using. So going down here and say the request and say the username, because we always know which user we have. So going back for the client and reload and say test. Now we have a guest 3, and if we're going over this next one, client 2, guest 1, and now we have guest 2. If I reload the client and sending a test message again, then it should be 4. Yes, because every time we connect, we increment the guest counter and you get the new guest ID. So of course it would be better to reuse the session ID so you don't get a new session ID every time. I will show how you do this in other videos. For now this is fine. Should we play around to have a session ID and display the user's username? So when we're going down here, we will emit and sending back the user user data, and we save it, and we're going back here, and for the view we need to build one more down here and copy this line. Whoops. And then we say user data, and the socket should be user. And let's see what happens if we do this. We have the object, connected time, rank, and the name. So let's replace the guest up here in the right corner and the guest down here with the data we got. So the user is here. We need to the return here. User null. We don't have any disconnect here, so if you reload and disconnect, the user will not be removed, so that's okay. We can live with this. And in the header navigation, we want to user data. I'm just sending in here. And online people, we don't want this right now. We want it here. Yes, let's use something like yeah, we just use this username, and if is equal to the set else NA. That's what we reload very fast. You can see it should NA, and then we use guest 11 here and nothing up here, but we will fix it now. We have the property user data, so we have access to everything. So going for the header navigation and go down here, sorry, and say props, and the props we want to use is the user data, and it's required true. And what we do here is say guest here. Say this going inside here, and then we need to say the username. And we've broken it. Okay, so let's call it the property for user data. Then we say this, and remove this, and going back for those and say data. And now we have the guest. So guest 12, guest 13, test guest 30, and then we send. If we're going back, we have guest 9 and 9. So that's perfect. Everything is run now as it should be. And the next video I will work with the online people, so we only showing exactly the online people we have online. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please make a comment below. I'll try to answer as fast as possible, and I hope you want to continue watching about my video and subscribe my channel. You can do it on the thing below in the right corner, and of course I hope you want to hit the like and hit the share button so you can share with your friends. And one more time, so thank you for your time and thank you for subscribing. Hope to see you next time.